Welcome to Righteous Pursuits. This is Charissa and thanks for tuning in once again. So by the title of this video, you already know what I want to discuss. There are a lot of singles at this time waiting on their spouse, right? But sometimes during the waiting process, a lot of singles focus on the lonely part. They focus more on, Lord, I don't even have a boyfriend at this time. I don't even have a girlfriend. Lord, I've been single for so many years. Lord, I've been single for so long. When are you going to send my spouse? When am I going to meet this person? Is it this year? Is it next year? Is it in the next 2 years? Lord, I'm tired of being single. You need to do something about this now. I don't know how much longer I could take being a single woman. I don't know how much longer I can take being a single man. No. Your single status, if you're listening and you're single right now. And I know sometimes when you are in that single season, you sometimes have those moments where you just want to be in a relationship with someone. That's normal human feelings. But when you are in your single season, it is a season where you have to take advantage of that season, because that season can end anytime soon. There will be moments where you will have those lonely moments. But you have to have the right perspective. You have to make the most out of your single status. Don't waste your single season. Have the right perspective about your single season. Your single season is a blessing from God. Don't take it for granted. Now, let me tell you why you shouldn't take it for granted. Because when you are in a season of singleness, right? You have more time for you, right? You have more time to better yourself as an individual. Because think about it right now, okay? When you have a family, right? You have less time for yourself. You have less time to focus on you. But when God sends that right person to you and you both get married, right? You won't be focusing just on you anymore. But you have to spend more time, or a lot more time, to someone else. You know, you will be together, you will have a union, okay? And then there comes children, which is more time you would have to put aside. But when you are a single woman or a single man, you have more time for yourself. You have more time to make moves to better your life. So you got to look at the right perspective about it. Okay? I've talked with married people, and what I notice about a lot of them is, like, especially the mothers, how being a parent and, having a family is like another job too within itself. Being a mother, cooking for the family, making sure the children do what they need to do, making sure they have a nice hot meal, making sure that their homework is done, and then going to work and doing other things. It's a big responsibility. Also for the fathers, they have to make sure that the household is taken care of. As a provider, he has to make sure that everything is taken care of in the home. And so, as a single man or as a single woman, you better take advantage of the time you have now. Remove the negative mindsets and put the right perspective in your mind. Don't waste your single years. During this time, you could save more money. You have more time to work on different projects, to better your life. You have more time to spend with God when you're a single individual. Because when that family comes, you'll feel like your day is going fast. Don't see being single as a curse from God, like God is punishing you, or you're being tortured. But see it as a blessing, because there are basically other people who wish they had your single status right now. There are other people who wish they had more time to themselves. It's the truth. I'm sure there are some married folks who miss their single time. have more time for yourself. You also have more time to discover yourself, know and learn more about who you are, who God has called you to be, who God has created you to be. As a single individual, can you truly say that you know who you are in God, that you have an understanding of your identity in Him? Because if you don't know who you are in God, if you don't have an understanding of who God has created you to be, and you don't even know your purpose in God, right? How are you going to add to the man or woman of God if He decides to send that person to you today or tomorrow? Because when God connects you to that person, and when he or she is connected to you, both of your purpose will line up. It will all make sense. You will see why and understand why God connected you to that other person. You will say, oh, I see where our purpose meet. I understand why God chose this person for me. Because when we came together, I bring the certain thing to the table, and he brings certain thing to the table. And when the guy meets the woman, he's gonna say, oh, I understand why God connected me to this person, because she adds and actually brings something to the table. It will just come together. It will mesh really well. So when the Lord puts relationships together, it makes sense. It comes together beautifully. It makes total sense. But you have to make sure that you are prepared for the person that He brings to you. And so instead of being sad or mad or feeling frustrated about your season of singleness, take advantage. Look a little deeper into your life and see what things you can do to better it. And if you feel lost, just talk to the Lord. Just speak to Him. Ask Him to give you some type of understanding when it comes to what you should and shouldn't be doing in your life, so that He could put you on the right track, so He could line up you with your purpose. You have to make sure that you are patient enough to wait on the promises of God, and you have to just know that things are going to work out. Now, be real to yourself. If God was to send you your husband, ladies, and men, if God was to send you your wife, do you really think at this time you would be ready for that? Ready for the responsibilities that goes with having a husband or having a wife? Do you think you really are ready for that right now at this point in your life? And then sometimes people think they're ready, and God is saying they're not really ready at all. There's a lot of things that a person needs to be working on until He decides to bless that person with a husband or with a wife. That's how God may be seeing it. He's not trying to punish you or trying to withhold that blessing from you, but He knows what you really need and when you really need it. He makes all things beautiful in His time. Just make sure that you are not making marriage an idol, putting marriage before God. Don't become obsessed with being in a relationship or being married. Use that energy into spending time with God. Yes, you really want to be married. Yes, you really want to find someone, but don't start to make your whole life focus about being married and making marriage an idol. Because when you start to become desperate about being in a relationship or being married, that's when you start to get in relationships that God doesn't want you to be in. Because you want to speed up the process, because you don't feel like waiting on God. You feel like your biological clock is ticking. You feel like time is running out for you, and you feel like you are way behind. But when you start to rush things, that's when you start to be in situations you're not supposed to be in. So I would advise you to wait on God. As a single individual, wait on God. See the advantages of being a single. Don't see it as a curse. Don't see it as punishment from God. Don't see it as that. Eventually, your time will come. Eventually, you will be in a marriage, and it won't just be any type of marriage. It's going to be a marriage that is blessed by God. But that's all I wanted to discuss. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.